If there is anybody online, they're sitting there staring at it, thinking, "Hey." No, I don't even know. All right, let's see. It is now. There it is. I had to think about that for a minute. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we were going to do that little kind of a jet engine thing. Um, I don't know where that one was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that one. And I don't think I can get. So if I click that, I wonder what happens. Oh, so it takes it inside of its own window. Okay, we have to go back here. Okay. I think that was it. Hmm? Oh, that's two of two. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's a funny view. Okay. Well, let's see. I can probably take this and that, and then over here, drop it. So what we've got to do, okay. Let's see. Here's an exit. So if I look at this, this is the normal to the exit. I got a normal to the exit here, a normal to the exit here. So I got flow coming in, some sort of velocity, and some sort of velocity coming in. And then I don't have anything else. I mean, that's just the force on the stand to keep it the way it is. So I'm going to label this one as 1, this one is 2, and this one is 3. So what I really need to know is I need to know the area of 1, area of 2, area of 3. I need to know velocity 1, velocity 2, velocity 3. And in this particular case, I might need to know this, depending on how and what he's asking here. So he goes through it and he says all this, but then I'm looking for. Okay. M dot fuel is 50 kilograms per second. Okay, hang on. Okay, fuel. Okay, so M dot 2 is equal 50 kilograms per second, which I can get all this out of it, but I don't need to. And then the M dot of the oxidizer is 125 kilograms per second. Okay, so this kind of makes, okay, 125 and 150. Yeah, I'm sorry, 125 and 50 and dot 3 has got to be, what, 175 kilograms per second. So that tells me that. So in other words, that times that equals to 125. So here, I'll do it this way. Move this close to here. Move this one close to here. So this is m dot 2, m dot 1, m dot 3. Okay, m dot 2 is 50. Is 170. So everything's happy there. We're all happy with that. Now, okay, so the equation itself, if it's steady state, if it's steady state, it's going to be, I'm going to do the x equation. Sum of the forces. Well, actually, I should do sum of m dot, but I'm sort of doing that here. So in other words, this is the case right here. So what I'm going to do is sum of the forces in the x, because I don't think he's interested in the y, is equal to integral over the control surface of the velocity in the x times rho v dot, I think his book has, it should, I'm used to seeing it this way, where the n is pointing in the direction of the area. That's what's generally written more so. And if you consider them to be bulk, in other words, these are the bulk values, and the sum of the forces in the x is equal to the sum over the control surface, and I'll say Vx rho v dot n a, which in fact means m dot. So therefore, all I've got left is to find that. If I can find that of any particular one of these, and then I can actually figure out the force on the stand or whatever. However, yeah, and here I'm gonna take the picture and I'm gonna drop it again. This time I'm gonna make it bigger. But you know what I might do instead of doing it that way? Yeah. How can I do this to eliminate? I know what I'll do. I'll go in and take this snippet, and I think I could maybe do this, but I think I'm going to do it in the freeform mode. And oops, it did not. No, let it kind of, okay, now. So I'll say this is my control surface, control volume. I'm going to go put it right here, and I'm going to get rid of that picture. The reason I'm doing that is that now I can really pay very close attention to the normals and the velocity. And I called that one 1, this one 2. Now what I'm going to do, I guess this one is velocity 3 and normal 3. And these are all vectors. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to select all that and move it over to the side. So I can pay really close attention to the V dot N here. So if I look at this, V1 dot N1 is equal to minus V1, the magnitude of the velocity, because they're going in opposite directions, and actually it's magnitude of velocity, magnitude of the normal times the cosine, and they're opposite directions, so it's 180, and this becomes a minus 1. So, and this is actually equal to 1, so you get minus the velocity. You do the same thing here, minus the velocity, but over here they're both going in the same direction, so you get V3, the magnitude of the velocity, positive. So in other words, V3 dot N3 is equal to this. V1 dot N1 is equal to that, and then V2 dot N2 is equal to minus the magnitude of V. So now you pay attention to this equation, and what you find out is I'll slide it to the left, and I'll say sum of the forces in the x direction, which I haven't addressed yet, is equal to V1 in the x direction times rho 1 V1 dot N1 A plus V2x rho 2 V2 dot N2 A2 and the last term is plus V3x rho 3 V3 dot N3 A3. Now this one negative V1, this one negative V1 V2, and this one is positive V3. So if that's the case, then the sum of the forces in the x direction is equal to, since this is m dot, it just becomes V1x times a minus m1 dot plus V2x times a minus V2 dot, m2 dot, because that's what the m2 is, plus V3x plus m3 dot. Now, we haven't addressed the forces yet, but we've addressed those things, but I'm left with the requirement that I need to find V, because he gave me this, he gave me that, I found that, so I need to find the V. So I'm going to address that now. V1x equal to what? V2x equal to what? And V3x equal to what? And I may not need to know all that. Okay, so I'm sort of, exhaust flows out. Actually, I may not need to know some of that. Okay, so the densities are the fuel, 820, and that, okay, wait. Fuel is that, and then he says, and that. So I'm assuming his sentence is the diameters of the inlets are defueled. The gauge pressures and the densities are. He should have put maybe that this is associated with that, but but 1140. I guess the fuel could, okay, so I guess the fuel could be some sort of It doesn't have to be a liquid. It's some sort of gas apparently probably coming in there. So density is 820. 820. Let's see. So if I look at B1 A1 row, I get, he told me, okay, now I'm doing the oxygen. So he told me that's 125. But that's equal to, and this is for the oxygen, or oxidizer. This is the oxidizer, which is my 1. I do not remember his diameter. 0.67 centimeters. Then I guess I have to assume 6.7. Wait, or was it 6.7? 6.7 centimeters. And I guess I need to make it meters. The density of that thing is 1140. 1140, and that's kilograms per meter per cube. So this will be meters. Velocity is equal to 125. Okay, so the velocity at 1 should be 125 divided by 1140 times 100 over 6.7. Oh, you're correct. Yeah. My brain shut off. Okay, you are correct. Let me slide this down. Maybe I can slide this over. Okay, squared. And then I'll slide this over. And then I'll put a pi and then divide by 4. So now I square that. I bring the 4 over against here and then divide by pi. I do not know what this thing will do, but as long as I'm writing okay. Oh my God. I don't know what. I get 31.1. Okay. V2. Okay, well, I got to do the same thing with V2. So you know what I'm going to do? Here. Here's what I'll do. This. Put a little box around it, and I'm going to kind of copy it and change some of the numbers. So this is with 1. So what I'll do, so that I don't have to repeat myself so much, you do this right here and drop it there for 2. Okay. So this is for 2. I think it was 50. It was 840. 820. It wasn't 6.7. It was 5. 50. 820. It was 5. And as a result, it became what? 31. Did I do that right? It looks like I did it right. That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's kind of funny. So that is weird. Huh. Okay, so I don't think he asked the entire thing. So I might do. Okay, so first he says the effects of the propellant flow. Oops. Okay. Okay, so he does all this. It's steady state, so you don't have to deal with the change in time. You have to deal with this first term. Okay, come on. Using the entire rocket as a control volume to open surface and calculate the momentum flow due to these two terms. Which two terms? The effect, okay, but of this term and that term, of the propellant flow. But it says it's steady. I think it does. If it's not steady, it becomes almost really unsolvable. And then it's just, so the propellant in my part, what's the propellant? Is the propellant 1? Propellant would be 2, I think. So if we got 2, so what he's interested in is that term. So he's interested in 31 times 50 or 15, whatever. 1500. Oh, come on. 50. Now, I don't think there's anything in there with a sign. I'm just going to start entering 1500. No, wait a minute. How about that? Was it kilonewtons, or did I come out with, did I mess up my... Let's see what he has. How to approach it. You've got to do density and inlet, simplify the controls. Yep. For momentum flow. You got that term. Oh, I thought it said there was 3 hints. Yeah, so it's 50. Uh-oh. Wait. Okay. So it's that term. It's going to be m dot times the velocity. Did I do my velocity correctly? The other one, just out of curiosity, okay, so let's make sure that I did that part right. Rotor, and then velocity 820. Okay, I think I got that part. 5 centimeters. That's squared. 50. Grab an 800. Flip that over, move it over. Pi underneath it. So I think that's what I get. So let me look at make sure that I have the units. Now this thing is supposed to be kilograms per second. Uh-oh. Let's make sure that that's what that is. Yeah, it's kilograms per second. Let's make sure I did all my units right. This one will be in meters squared. There's my velocity. So if I pull this off, kilogram over second, the meter squared slipping underneath, the meter to the third slipping on top, and then the kilogram slipping under the bottom. That would be bang, 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 bang. It's meters per second. We're good. So I got meters per second times, this would be kilograms second, would be kilograms meters second squared. F is equal to MA is meters second squared kilogram. Is exactly what that is. And so that's Newton. Okay. So we're all good. Okay there. Let's just, and he wanted in kilonewtons. That's not going to work. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Why is there two? Oh, so you put, wait a minute. So you put this in the hint? So why would you have a hint? Is the hint the same thing? Calculate the momentum flow of the fluid. Okay. And then you put it in there. Hint one. Calculate the fluid velocity. Okay. Oh. When you do a hint, he gives you a box to help you. I didn't know that. Oh, how weird. I did not know that. But, oh, okay. That's a good idea. I didn't know hints. Has this been going on for a while? The hints have been buried in there, and you can. Oh, cool. That's really cool. Okay, so now that I get, okay, so I got the velocity of fuel right. But if I click that, why is this one here? Okay, so this hint is the intermediate. Okay, so but isn't this thing the same as that thing? That's really weird. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do this and see what happens. That's really weird. Oh, I have 4 attempts remaining? Okay, what the heck? I don't know. Oh, it has a minus sign. So he's particular about the minus signs. Okay, minus 155. Interesting. But he should be, I guess, because the dot product is negative, and so it's my fault for putting that in that way. Oh well, let's see what happens if I do this. Okay. Nothing happened there.
It just changed how many attempts you have it.
Oh, I've already submitted this answer. Enter a new answer. Huh?
Remove one of your attempts.
I'm just going to request. Okay, where is that? Okay, that's a hint. What the heck? Okay, that's A. Man, this is weird. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to reread the problem there because, okay, so if you look at it, okay, so if you look at the available hints, hint 3, calculate the momentum field to fit. And so we got that. I just didn't put them. So let's see what his, okay, let's get rid of the hints. And this is like, it's just sitting there. But it says the momentum of the horizontal forces using the engine rocket and controller. Calculate the momentum due to these two terms.
So it would be both fuel and oxygen.
Oh, I didn't do both. So if you do that, why do you, okay, so he's talking about so he's just talking about the fuel. Okay. Well, let's see if that's what we got. I mean, I did the answer 5.4. Okay. So here, let's go back to this. So that was that one. What is that one? I misread the problem. I thought he was just interested in the one term, not both. 3, 8, 8, 7.15, and then add 1550 to that. Let's see. I use the calculator. 1550 plus 3, 887.5, 54. 37.5. See, so you read the problem. I did not. I just got focused on this one. I was just focused on that. So that's what confused me when he used the word both. He used the effect of the propellant flow. So I guess yes, the oxidizer and the fuel could both be combined. So using the power rockets, there are two open control surfaces for the foot. Okay, I didn't read it very good, so I goofed that one.
So why would it be negative?
Well, it's negative because, I mean, think about it like this. Mathematically, the reason it's negative is that m dot is minus. But philosophically, what happens is that if you just look at this, think of it as a garden hose. If this shoots out really fast, this is going to have to offset it by holding more. But the reverse is true here. If you actually had this coming in really fast, it's going to reduce that. Yeah, so it needs to be negative. And the reason it's because we set that being positive. So it's just, oh, I guess I had those circled for a reason. Because those were the terms. So I goofed that one. Now, there's an extra part to this, and that it shouldn't go unnoticed, and that is the effects of pressure. Okay. And I'm going to read every word because, the momentum equation includes the sum of the forces in the control volume on the left side. The net pressure on the surface of the control volume must be included here. What is the force in the control volume? Due to these pressures, let the force acting on the right be positive. Okay, so what he's saying is, if you look, here, I'll do this. I'll just copy these two terms. And I'll copy them. I'm going to put them out here to the right. And then I'm going to take the picture, copy, and drop it right there. So actually, if you look at the sum of the forces, what you've got is a pressure here. I think this one, pressure 1, area 1, pressure 2, area 2, and actually pressure 3, area 3. So if you're looking at summing the forces, the left-hand side should include P1A1 plus P2A2 minus, because of that, P3A3 plus F of the stand equals to all of this. So it equals to, so the official equation looks like that. And so that's the official equation right there. So that's the one that, he's talking about. But what he's asking, I think, is this one and this one combined together. I think. Let me reread it. We're going to read the forces. Okay, the momentum equation includes some of the forces on the control volume on the left side. The net pressure of the surface is on the controller and must be included here. What are the forces? Okay, so the question is, what are the pressures at the exit, and what are the pressure fuel and oxidizing? And do we see it anywhere in there? Okay, I'm having trouble seeing that. Where is it? Near. Oh, the gauge pressure in the propellant lines is 20. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so they must be both are at 25. But he doesn't tell us at the exit, so I'm assuming we have the carte blanche to say that the exit pressure is 0, just going into atmosphere. So 25 megapascal. So really, that would be 25 megapascals, or this sounds weird, meganewton. How about just megapascal times area 1, and then I'm going to assume it's acting on area 2 as well. So that'd be 25 times pi 5 over 100 squared over 4 plus pi 6.7 over 100 squared over 4. And that might give me, that might be calculatable with this thing. Let's see if it's going to read it. 6.7. Yeah. Okay. It's got a weird setup here, and it's got 0.137229. But the question is, so I got to multiply that. It's mega, so I got to take 1,000 off of that. So here's what I'm going to do. And just to be silly. Let's see if it can read that. Oh, it did. Okay, 137. I just want to see if it could read this part on the left. 0.22. Let's just stick it again and see what it says. We'll just do that. Okay. I'm too tired to do the exhaust. So, besides, we're getting close to the end. But it's just sort of, I looking back, I can kind of see why I put this in there, but anyway. Oh man. would say I'm hungry, but I'm thirsty more than I'm hungry. So if you're okay, we might just call it a day. Because I think that's the... No, we got one more problem. We'll look at that one next time. What does this say? I don't know what this... What did that say? I don't know what this... Crude oil from out of each branch of the... Okay, so crude oil, the same rate. Rate would imply velocity. Okay. But the diameters are the same. Since the diameters are the same, it wouldn't matter whether it's flow rate, m dot, or velocity. Determine the resultant force holding or fitting to the pipe. Okay. Look at that. I tell you what, lecturing this way, sitting here, just it makes you fall asleep, and it also makes you more prone to errors instead of moving around. I think I've discovered why people should write notes, and I've been reading more and more about it. And I haven't thought much about it until I sat here and did this way. And what I've kind of figured out is if I was sitting and not writing, I'd fall asleep. But if I was at least writing, you're keeping awake. You're transferring information onto something, either it's iPad or something like this. You're still prone to mistakes. But if you're standing up, walking around, I think you're less prone to mistakes. If your blood's moving through your head and you're moving like that. So, I'm wondering if people come in and take a test, right? They take a test. I wonder if you could take that test and people would take a test that just get up and work it on the board and leave the room, and each person, I bet you the scores would probably be a good grade higher. Yeah. But now that I'm doing this and experience this, I used to look out and think, oh gosh, but you're not an entertainer as a teacher. If someone falls asleep, now I kind of get it. I didn't get it until I started doing this way. Man, I've been up here before and almost fell asleep, even with a room full of people. So while I was working a problem. And so then your brain cuts out, just like I missed the two things, I'm just like, I would not have missed that before. But
that is the good thing about recording the lecture, because then if I want to rewatch it later, I can go home, then I can walk around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much.
Does it do better if you do that and you're walking around?
Yeah, because like you said, it gets blood pumping.
Huh.
I don't like sitting down for a long period of time anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. That's interesting. I never thought about that too. I should send out surveys, but I just don't have time to kind of go through and do that kind of stuff. But it would be kind of cool to see how people are responding to some of this,
Think about it. Whenever you're people are really trying to think about something, they pace.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. But that would be awful weird if you're there teaching and everybody's just walking around and you're like, this is weird. What's going on here? But, I just sent pictures to a friend of mine. I thought, I'm going to send some pictures because he was talking about he's over teaching somewhere over there. And he said, oh, they're falling asleep. And so I just sent a bunch of pictures of, you go to the internet and say, students asleep in classroom. And I love the one, there's a guy turned around talking with big math equations on the board, and everybody's out like that. Of course, it's all posed, but in a way, it's kind of like, it's not easy to do this, figure out how to communicate effectively. But I think, when I really look at this and gone through the cycles, I really think if I could produce a more efficient, so what I did is I spent like an hour. But if I could make it more efficient and then go through it, put a video, and then a small exam at the end, what would happen if this was though? or this was that. And then, you'd answer a question and it'd tell you, oh, you're right. But you'd get several shots at it. That would be the way to do it, a phase where you're assimilating and then you're not sure you get it until you have to put the pen on the paper. You do it several times and you're like, okay, I get it. And then you can move on. It's almost like taking one of these problems, doing something similar and then say, okay, here's your problem. So, but education is so weird. It's changed so dramatically over the years.